Everyone, I'm in my garage today. It is extremely hot and very warm. Well, it can't really be hot if it's warm, but it's very hot in the garage. And the reason I'm in here is because I am working polymer clay today, and you see, when it's cold, polymer clay is very hard and difficult to work with, but when it's warm, it's very, well, soft and pliable, as you can see there. I'm not making pottery or anything like that. I'm trying to work on a monster. I guess it's coming out pretty good so far. It's supposed to be kind of a weird sea monster with a long neck. I have a thing for scary monsters with long necks. I don't know, I feel like those give them like a regular proportioned body, but with a really long serpentine neck. I feel like those are really cool looking monsters. So that's what I'm doing as of now, and I will be doing the blog as I sculpt my monster. So if I pause a lot or am not looking at the camera, that's because I'm making sure that everything's being done well. And let me just tell you, it's a complete pain in the butt because I've been having to sculpt and add and remove clay, and it's just it's very difficult. But aside from that, it's very fun because I'm finally getting to bring one of my monstrous creations to life. As anybody who keeps up with my videos or has watched all of them from the very beginning would know, I am a big fan of kaiju, or strange beasts. So that's pretty much what I'm doing here with this figure. And if I can, I'm going to cast it in resin and then hopefully open up my own little toy store on the internet, because, well, that's one of the things I've always wanted to do. So yeah, nothing in particular today. I was thinking about anime, and I have so many questions regarding that. You know, I grew up watching anime myself, a lot of it, honestly, but my overall favorites were ones that most of you probably don't know, because you ain't cool like I am. Just kidding. Saint Seiya, that's my overall favorite. The Ronin Warriors, Mobile Fighter G Gundam. What else is another one? And some that you definitely would not know. Mazinger Z, that's from like the early 80s, like late 70s type anime. About this dude who pilots a giant robot. A giant mech, to be exact. I really enjoyed that. I never watched the full series, but my mom told me about it. It's one of the anime that she watched as a kid. So, it got me curious, and I started to look into it as I got older. It is violent like crazy, but that's why I like it, because it's a fight between mechs and automatons, and it's really cool and super gritty at times, but gritty in like a cool way, and like it's just classic and awesome, and I really enjoy that kind of anime. But I've been looking at all the stuff that's been coming out today, and I'm not saying that I've watched it, and frankly I don't like much of it, because if there is one thing that it all has in common, is its over dramatic atmosphere, its complete exaggeration of emotion and speech. If it's comedic, I absolutely love it. I really do. But aside from that, it's usually like very overdramatic, sometimes way too dark for its own good. And the one thing that gets me the most, over-sexualized. That's the one thing they have been doing in a lot of anime nowadays. It's just over-sexualized. Everything, even in the tiniest thing, has to be sexual in some way, shape, or form. You can't, like in Japan, there just can't be a single anime that is not sexualized in any way, shape, or form. And I don't understand it. Like, if I'm gonna watch something, I want to watch it for the comedy or the action factor. I don't want to I don't care about giant boobs. I don't care about a girl's panties, you know? It just doesn't make sense to me, like, why everything has to be over-sexualized. Now, I understand that that's one thing that people do to get someone to continue watching something, because, I don't know, I guess people are super attracted to sex. And I'm not saying I'm not. I'm a man, and we men are, like, freaking, not to put it in a weird, rude way, but we're like freaking sex addicts almost. Not entirely true, by the way. Um, but that's what I don't like about a lot of anime nowadays. It's just over sexual, and it loses its original value, and it just mixes a bunch of genres into one thing. And back in the day, like, it was just one thing and one thing only. It didn't mix with other things, and I don't know. That's like a huge no-no for me. It's very rare that I find an anime produced recently or in, this century or in these recent years that I actually like. And it's super rare because most of the stuff that I watch and rewatch is stuff from like the 80s and 90s, which is like the golden age of anime in America, or stuff from like the 70s, which was very few. And so I'm just very, very picky about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's some anime nowadays that I really do enjoy, but like I said, it's just very few. So, if you enjoy modern anime, that's great, man. That's good for you. I'm glad you do. But I'm just like super picky about it. I don't like when it's over exaggerated with the drama or anything like that. If it's an action anime, I like it to be action, and I don't like it to have any sexualization in it, because I'm there to watch it for the action, not for the breast or for the women. So if it's comedy, I like it to be comedic. I don't like it to dwell into the field of too much seriousness, even